Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And last week I asked the Minister a pretty straightforward question. Why can't the Liberals get anything built on time or on budget? Reasonable question that most taxpayers ask, unfortunately, on a far too regular basis. His answer at the time was it was nonsensical. He completely ignored the question and gave some typical government gobbledygook answer. So today, I'm going to take the opportunity to outline a few examples of their wasteful incompetence. And I'd like to start local. The Liberal government committed funds to the municipality of Rhineland and their Gretna Arena project. But because of delays in signing the contribution agreement on the side of this federal Liberal government, and due to, generally speaking, Liberal inflationary policies, the cost of the project ballooned in a huge way. As a result, the municipality can't afford to move forward with this project any longer. Shame. And to make matters worse, Mr. Speaker, this Liberal government's trying to shake down the RM of Rhineland for 50 grand for part of the cost that went into this project. Now, let me move to the national level. Now, the original budget of the Trans Mountain Pipeline was just, we'll call it a measly $7 billion. But then the Liberal government, they went ahead and nationalized it. And the budget ballooned to over $34 billion, nearly 5 times the cost of the original estimate. Wow. And of course, we can talk about their, frankly, just ridiculous and unjustified firearms confiscation scheme. Well. Instead of going after criminals, what they are doing is planning to spend $600 million to expropriate firearms from some of, I would argue, the most law-abiding Canadians in this country. Now, unfortunately, taxpayers know that I can go on, and we know there are so many unfortunate, egregious examples, but I'd like to ask a simple question. Has anyone within the government ever lost their job? Or even worse, have they received a bonus for these abysmal failures?
Good question.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary, the Minister of Public Transformation, Procurement and Public Works.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the member for the question and the opportunity to rise tonight to address it. Whether it's creating more affordable housing or boosting our defence efforts, this new government is committed to building Canada strong and delivering for Canadians. With the appointment of a new Minister for Government Transformation, we are focused on transforming the way that we do business. That means improving productivity, but it also means focusing on meeting service delivery standards. And it's going to require us to look at new technologies such as artificial intelligence and change the way that we manage many of our processes. On housing, Mr. Speaker, we have a plan to deliver affordable homes by creating Build Canada Homes, a mission-driven organization that will act to accelerate the development of new affordable housing. And on defence procurement, this government created a dedicated cabinet post of Secretary of State for Defence Procurement, and we have already committed to establishing a defence procurement agency focused on reforming and speeding up our military purchases. As for the issues surrounding GC strategies, we share frustrations with others in this House, and that's why we have taken action. Public Service and Procurement Canada has taken several steps over the last 18 months to implement changes based on recommendations that were made in the reports to Parliament. This includes improving evaluation requirements, increasing transparency from suppliers around pricing and use of subcontractors, improving contract documentation, and ensuring clarification of work requirements and activities. We introduced an updated ineligibility and suspension policy and set up a new Office of Supplier Integrity and Compliance, empowering the government to better respond to misconduct and wrongdoing in a way that is impartial and free of political interference. In addition, PSPC has terminated all contracts with GC Strategies and removed them from all supply arrangements. Earlier this month, the government found that the company's actions met the threshold for ineligibility pursuant to the government's ineligibility and suspension policy, which will now prohibit the company from participating in federal contracts. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to cases of recovering funds for work not done or overbilling, we pursue these to ensure that Canadians get their money back. That is why we have taken legal action against GC Strategies right now. Mr. Speaker, we remain committed to ensuring the best value for Canadian taxpayers with all federal procurements and projects. Thank you very much.
The honourable member for Portage Lisgar.
Well, I'd like to start by thanking my honourable colleague across the way. And just for frame of reference, the question that was read in response to, but certainly not answered, was, has anyone ever lost their job, or has anyone unfortunately received a bonus despite these failures? And I'm not exactly sure what I just heard, but I know it was a canned response, and this is why people get so frustrated with government. They sit here, they want to look at Parliament, they want to hear what we have to say, the questions that opposition members want to ask the government, and those are the type of responses we get. But speaking of the costly and wasteful programs that we are well aware of in this government, is the Net Zero Accelerator Fund under this Liberal government. They've doled out $8 billion in subsidies to large multinational companies without any commitment to actually reduce emissions. But we know this agenda is not actually about achieving results. The Liberals, at the end of the day, have sidelined the hard-working Canadians, and at the end of the day, is this...
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, it is our responsibility to manage public funds in a way that ensures Canadian taxpayers are getting the best possible value for their dollars. Mr. Speaker, I would suggest to my colleagues opposite that it is time to stop the political games of the last Parliament, and it's time to get to work on the things that matter to Canadians and the things that we talked about throughout the campaign that got us re-elected to this place, to build the strongest economy in the G7, to build our military, to protect our borders and our sovereignty, and to ensure that in everything that we are doing, we are building Canada strong. And I encourage the opposition to join us in doing just that. Thank you.